Hi, and welcome to today's video on mastering leadership communication. In today's video, we're going to be covering the topic of turning conflict into collaboration. Now, in the modern work environment, as a supervisor, as a manager, quite often you can have one-on-one conflict with people who are at the same level as you, meaning they could be other leaders and managers, supervisors of other departments or other teams. And similarly, you can also have conflict from you to people who report to you, members of your team, your staff. And lastly, the conflict can occur between you and the people that you yourself report to, your managers, your directors, the leaders of your organization. Regardless where that one-on-one conflict is, it's unhealthy, it's unproductive, right? It's not necessarily useful because what it leads to is conversations that are avoided, people that are avoided, productivity essentially goes down, team effectiveness, organizational effectiveness essentially goes down. So in today's video, I'd like to share with you 3 strategies that will help you overcome a lot of those conflicts and turn them into what amount to be collaborative relationships. The first strategy is just simply to do your best to find out what the root cause of the conflict is. It requires you to be a little bit humble, to bite your ego, and essentially start up a conversation and initiate the conversation with the other individual by saying something like, I feel like there's some tension here. I feel like there's a misunderstanding. Can we talk about this? I'd like to get past this because this is affecting me and perhaps it's affecting you, but I'd just like to address it because it is what amounts to be an elephant in the room. Something along those lines to just initiate the conversation to try to find out where a misunderstanding may have occurred. So the second strategy is simply to apply some emotional de-escalation techniques to help reduce the effects of the human stress response. Because when you initiate the conversation to try to come up with the root cause of the conflict in the first place, that action can bubble up some heavy emotions not only in yourself but also in your counterpart. And in order to reduce that, you want to really do what you can to reduce the emotional stress response. So one way you can do that is by, for yourself, doing 4x4 box breathing, by breathing in for 4 seconds, holding for 4 seconds, breathing out for 4 seconds, holding for 4 seconds, 4, 8, 10 times, however many times you need to do it so that you calm your stress response, so you go in there in a much less aroused state. And then secondly, you might consider the environment where you're going to have this conversation with the other individual. Perhaps ask to have it in a neutral environment. Maybe ask the person out for lunch or ask them outside of the building to have the conversation rather than in the office, which can really trigger in their mind something that's connected to the conflict in the first place, right? But so if you take them into a neutral environment, calm them down, maybe go for a walk with them and have this conversation, that can, in essence, reduce their reaction from the human stress response. So that's the second technique. The third strategy is to apply some effective communication techniques like active listening. And a great way to do that is simply to show the other person that you are in fact listening by paraphrasing what they say when they respond. So whenever they respond, anytime you ask a question, wherever you can, just kind of repeat back what they said to you in the manner that you understood it. Because this does 2 things. And one, it really shows the other person that you are listening and you are trying to understand. And number 2, it increases the chance and likelihood of you understanding what it is that they're saying. And that in itself can reduce the chances of conflict and misunderstandings continuing to grow and getting worse and worse and worse. So active listening, especially using the idea of paraphrasing what the other individual said, is a powerful communication technique that you can apply as the third strategy. There are many more. I'll have many more videos coming out in the future that will help you learn those techniques. Good luck.